What's going on, everybody? Let me see. I should be live right now. Let me, here we go. Let me see this. Why can't I hear this? Sound, Scarlet. There you go. Wait, hold on. Is it because this audio is super low? Testing 1 2. Can y'all hear me? What? This is weird. I can't hear. Can y'all hear me? Microphone. Yeah, I think you can hear me, right? Let me see. Oh, I can't hear myself. Wait, hold on. You can hear me, but I can't hear myself. All right, I don't know what. I think it might be the headphones. Let me see. One second. I know what it is. I gotta go into DJ mode now. Hold on. Gotta grip. Put. You know how DJs put their. 1 second. There we go. There we go. All right, hold on. We're good there. Okay, cool. Hold on. All right, there we go. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday, random cloud chat time. I told Rishabh to join. He's supposed to be joining at some point. In like, I don't know. Also, my AC is on. Is it too loud? Oh, here he is. Yo, dude.
Yo, what's up?
Wait,
Can you hear me?
I can't hear. Is it me? No, I'm pretty sure I should be able to hear you.
Okay.
Can the chat tell me if my AC is on in the background? Is it too loud? Let me know. If it is, I'll turn. I don't want to turn it off, but because it's kind of warm in here. But if it is too disruptive, then I will have to. It's manageable. All right, thank you. Everyone says you good. I can't hear you, Rishabh.
Still nothing?
Can the chat hear Rishabh? Is it me? Maybe it's on me. Hold on, dude.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Cool.
All right, it's definitely on me. How about now? Okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, my bad. I muted the wrong tab. That was the issue. What's up? What's up, everybody? We already have a bunch of people in here. Boris is in here. Niraj is in here. Joseph is in here. Sean is in here. Jay is in here. What is this? Gura Gigna? I'm sorry if I butchered your name. What's going on? Anthony is in here. Who else we got? Snake Eyes is in here. Everyone can hear us. Perfect. Rishabh, what's going on?
Nothing much.
I switched back to using an audio interface because
Nice.
the preamp in this thing was just too quiet when I was like compared to other people who are on the streams that I was doing, and I think I got it significantly louder, so that's good.
It's the Focusrite 2x2.
Yeah, this little thing. I love it. I forgot how much I loved.
Yeah, I got mine out, and then because I had been using it via USB after I moved, and I can't find the XLR cable now.
Yeah. Well, now you gotta
Sucks.
order one on Amazon. I want to get a shorter one because the one I have is like super long, and the only distance I need is like
Yeah,
maybe,
I
2
also
feet or
had like a
something.
25 feet. I don't know why I bought so.
You had it just like coiled up.
Yeah, under the desk.
Dude, I also got. I know you used to be into music too, but I downloaded Ableton again, because I remember once I got the audio interface, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of like when I used to make beats and music like frequently. And then I downloaded Ableton. I was like messing around. I was like, oh, I miss this so much. And it kind of reminds me of like I need hobbies that are like not
Non-tech, yeah.
non maybe not, yeah, like non-tech. But then I was like, I also started working on the cloud project, like a series that I'm doing for YouTube. And then I got like so lost into that. I was like, but I love it. How can I not make it my hobby if I enjoy it so much? Here we go.
Yeah, she has.
I do have a SoundCloud. Go to soundcloud.com/made by GPS. I still have in there. Boris wants to know if you ate, Rishabh.
Yeah, I ate, but I need a snack.
I've been up since 6, and then I immediately started doing work. One for the YouTube video, and then I'm competing. You know how your Apple Watch you can compete with like fitness competitions.
No, I don't know that. Tell me.
Yeah, well, there's like a fitness. So there's a fitness app if you have like.
It's the Apple Watch or the Apple.
Yeah, like this thing, this app here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm competing with my brother, but he works a very physical job, so he's moving all the time. So I know I have to work out like extra hard in order to win. But we bet some money, so I'm not trying to lose. So I woke up, I worked at an hour. I'm like, all right, that should be enough, right? And now he's still up by freaking 20 points. So I'm gonna have to like go do it again after the stream.
Nice.
But
so what do you do? Like you just.
Yeah, so you work out whatever, you log your workouts with your watch, and then depending on like it'll calculate points depending on the type of activity and how much you
Is it
burned
in
and all that kind of stuff.
percentage?
Yeah, it's actually I don't know cause like
So this is what I see on the sharing tab. Do you
Yeah,
compare this?
yeah. So it'll tell
okay.
you like for example, he's at 180% and I'm at 157%.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so now I gotta go. I'm just like, and I was on so many meetings today and I did a stream, but I'm like, I'm so competitive. That's one thing. And I think that's why you and I, like, we get along well too, is because we bring out each other's competitive nature. It's like, oh, if I do a video, you want to do another one, and then you do a video, I want to do another one, thing like that. But I will not lose. I don't care if I have to like work out another 2 hours. I'm not losing, especially to my brother. We've always been like hyper competitive.
Nice.
But anyway, good to know that you've eaten. Gustavo says, "How about that Twitter? What about Twitter? Elon Musk buying Twitter?
Yeah.
What happened to that? I know they were like trying to figure out a price, but I don't know if that actually happened."
Yeah, they accepted his deal.
Stop. What, today?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Honestly, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
I think we had those discussions in one of the streams where you said, like, I don't know why would you want to grow your Twitter audience too.
Yeah, I don't find it. In my opinion, I don't find it valuable. I think YouTube or video format is a lot more like in terms of like when you think of technical content creator. I just don't think there's any value with growing an audience on Twitter. And I only use it to like retweet jobs or share anything that I have, but I don't necessarily look at it like, oh, I'm a Twitter influencer or anything like that.
Yeah.
If he was trying to buy YouTube, that would be different.
Yeah. In the past, I have been like I focused a lot of my time on Twitter, but that's too when I didn't have YouTube. I was just blogging and I shared my blogs on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion right now.
I'm also not informed enough to have an opinion about it, which is like one thing I like about you and I is like we don't just like say things to say. Like if we don't have an opinion, we'll be like, I don't have an opinion. Like I really don't care. So that's us. Hey guys, nice to see you guys again. I have a question. Is it possible to get into DevOps engineer position with certs and projects and no work experience? Rishabh, you did this, so I'll let you explain this one.
Yeah, I think if you mean by no DevOps experience, or do you mean just in general no tech experience? I think it can be hard. You could look into some junior or associate level positions, but it's really hard right now to find those. I talked to 2 students this weekend and today too. They're looking for jobs, and DevOps is it's hard right now. I know about like Canada region, so I'm not sure how it's in the US, but cloud engineering or cloud architect roles are still like you can find one where they'll say we need 1 to 2 year experience, and you could usually apply to that if you have no experience, if you have some solid projects. I'm not so sure about DevOps. If you can find a junior role, you should apply for it, given that you have the right projects and right level of skills under your belt.
Yeah, don't let anything. If you feel like you're ready and you want to apply to something, absolutely go for it. I just don't see DevOps roles being as entry level friendly as like other ones.
Maybe, yeah. So that brings up a good point. I was on Reddit last night and I saw
Uh-oh.
someone posted, where can I find internships for DevOps engineers? And the entire thread, it was just saying that it's hard to find internships in DevOps because you're trying to solve like continuous delivery problems and like how efficiently the application or the software that the company is building can be delivered. And for that, you need skills and like expertise and people who have been already in the industry, so that it can be done fast. I would love to see more companies give this opportunity to like junior and people who are just starting out their career, with internships and more junior roles. But it's I just don't see that in the market right now.
I see it's
Is what my
similar
point
to SRE. Like it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
tough, or like a solutions architect. It's just tough without having, you know, some projects in terms of like professional projects under your belt, because you're seen as the person who has to like go figure out what's going on. And how do you know that if you haven't worked with these other things, or you sort of know what to expect, or you sort of have like this experience of like, oh, when it's this issue, it's usually this thing, or it's when this happens, it's usually that thing. Like, oh, I should check here. Like, you don't really gain that
Exactly. Yeah.
through just like personal projects, or through definitely not through certs.
Yeah, because it's not at the same scale, right?
Absolutely.
You cannot make it at the same scale. So yeah.
Especially with like because usually DevOps and SRE engineers are on call, and you have the stress to like, you have SLAs and all those kinds of things. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't expect an entry level person to like be familiar with what, even like that mindset, or like that ability to work under that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
It's doable, and you know, I do hope to see more companies kind of onboard entry level like DevOps engineers and things like that. But
Yeah.
at the moment, it's just not where it's at. But
Yeah, I would say,
try.
yeah, look for like small to mid-sized businesses. That's how I got into cloud. And
Small
I
to
know like
mid-size.
I had been on that role for like 4 or 5 months, and during my 6 month they were like, do you want to start doing on-call stuff now? Like, do you want to be on call every third week? And I'm like, because they were hammered because they were all on call every alternate week, right? So it would be nice to have like 2 weeks of rest.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then the first incident happens. I have no clue what I'm doing.
I don't think I've ever been on call. I did work a whole weekend. Well, I think I slept like maybe 4 hours when we did a 365 migration. But like proper
migrations.
proper on call, no. And I don't know
It's
how I
stressful.
would have handled it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my take on DevOps jobs with no experience.
All right,
I
let's
think you
take a
got
look.
some insights here.
Yeah, let's take a look at this one. JJ says, I just started to get into data analytics. Very cool. I'm about a month in, but I think I want to change to cloud. But there's data in cloud. Like there's cloud
Data.
data engineer. Cloud
Yeah,
data
I'm
engineer,
also
right?
seeing a lot of data specialist role, which are, I think there's more trend now with specialist roles, and
Yeah,
usually the norm there is that you don't need to be too technical. And this is just based out of like what I'm seeing right now. Google is doing it too, and I am also a specialist. Instead of like technical solutions engineer, I think is the alternate of technical solutions specialist. But there's some job duties that are different, and it's a lot less technical, I would say. So yeah, look into those. But yeah, if you're not loving it, try
Yeah.
pivoting. Yeah, I think you're just 1 month in, so maybe give it, I don't know, a few more days.
It's if you don't like it, that's one reason. But if you think there's no career, or there's
Yeah.
no like relation to cloud, then I don't
It's a
think
total-
that's a reason, because there is plenty. Definitely.
Yeah,
I just got off a live stream where we were talking about Azure, like HD Insights, Databricks, Synapses, all these things. It's just big data, and it all runs in the cloud, right? And then you can do these like really complex.
Did you
like,
have the Spanish stream today?
yeah.
Yeah.
We you can do all these like complex machine learning analysis, and they have this, like some big data services that are just like fine tuned and focused for like different areas and things like that. So if you enjoy it, there's definitely a lane and an area for you. But if you don't, then yeah, cloud is so broad. So anyway, Crane773, hello y'all, sysengineer here. Awesome, mostly Windows. Where do y'all recommend to look and apply for roles? Thank you. If you have a Windows background, what are those called? MSPs?
Yeah,
They're called
yeah.
MSPs.
Managed
That
service partners. Yeah.
Yeah, struggling getting into CloudOps Cloud must require a want dev experience. I mean, you can't escape needing to know at least some sort of scripting. So you need to know if you're like Windows based and want to get into like, I guess something more Windows focused, then PowerShell or or .NET. You're gonna have to pick up to some extent something like that. I don't think there's any way where they would accept someone who's like, oh, I've never done any scripting or any coding whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and luckily that's one of the easier ones to like build projects and such on. But yeah, I don't think you can escape when it comes to cloud or DevOps. You can't escape some kind of coding.
No, I think that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Look into MSPs, and if you're like Windows experience, yeah, I would say PowerShell is your.
I mean, you have the hardest part, which is you have technical experience. If you're already a systems engineer, you have like, that going on, which is what most people who are trying to switch into cloud or DevOps have like struggled with. It's like, oh, I don't have any technical experience. Well, if you already have that, it's just kind of time to like supplement the skill set with like whatever it is that you're missing.
Yeah.
Speaking about automation, PowerShell for automation or Python? I mean, like, what's your end goal?
Is it a question?
I think so, because it's like PowerShell.
Or
for
is it an
automation or
answer?
Python.
Oh, yeah, but yeah.
Or
the
it could
question
be.
was on Twitch. No, I see it. The previous question was on Twitch. So.
Yeah. I don't have an opinion on this. PowerShell for automation or Python. I guess it's
whatever works.
Yeah.
Like what you're trying to do.
Python will get you further because it's more capable, but if you're just talking about like automation and scripting, PowerShell is quite capable. GPS, I completed the Easy 700 challenge and was among the first half of people to complete it. We have over 400 people doing that, by the way, which is amazing. I sent a message to both of you, Liam, via Twitter. Can you send it to me again? It might have gotten lost. I was going through them today. I've had like a lot of people reach out. We still have vouchers, so you definitely do qualify. Just send me another message so it goes to the top, and then I can find you, Robert. But I'll look after, actually probably tomorrow morning because I'm going to stop working after the stream is done. But I will get back to you. Don't worry about that. Cool. Here we go. I still work on-prem type environment and data engineering stack, but have AWS and GCP Cloud Associate certifications, CCAD, Spark, and Data. DE manager type roles in cloud and beyond. Is it possible? And what do I need to concentrate and build on? I want to switch data engineer manager type roles, and I'm a little confused here. What do you want to switch into? So I work on-prem type environment and data engineering stack. Okay.
They want to switch to data engineer manager type roles in cloud instead of on-prem.
So you want to do the same role but in cloud. And is it possible?
Yeah.
What would that look like though? So just switch into the company that has their infrastructure in cloud?
Yeah. You would still search for data engineer manager roles, I think.
Yeah, just pay attention
and
to
then
the
you have to
description.
pay attention at job description and stuff what they're using. Yeah.
Well, there you go. What CI/CD tools do you use? Ansible, Chef, Puppet. I'm basic. I use either Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions. And then it's CI/CD. Yeah. What about you, Rishabh? I think you used other ones.
Yeah, I used to use TeamCity. I've had some experience with Jenkins, and then for now that I'm not in my DevOps job, I only use GitHub Actions.
It's so GitHub Actions.
It's so easy because all my repos reside in GitHub, right?
Yeah. Why would I use anything else?
Yeah,
and
it
it's
works.
like
they almost have every action already configured with, whether it be AWS, whether it be any of the Azure services, GCP. You can build Packer images on GitHub Actions. You can do Terraform on GitHub Actions. So
there's also so many community built ones, like workflows. Like
you can submit your own too.
You're rarely gonna have to build a YAML from scratch, like a workflow from scratch. There, you'll have to customize it, and there's a pain of like, oh my goodness, dude. The other day, I was like executing, and I don't know any good way of executing locally, like trying it.
Oh yeah.
Which that's the one thing that sucks, but yeah, and then you have the pain of going through like, oh, I need to change this, I need to change this to this. But a lot of those, templates are available already, so that's what we use. I'm in a help desk role for about 10 months now. I have my bachelor's. What do you have your bachelor's in? And I'm studying for the AZC 104. Any recommendations on cloud jobs? I was looking into obtaining an Azure admin role. What do you have your bachelor's in? I'm studying for AZC 104. All right, so this sounds like you can go like cloud admin, cloud. What's the other one that I say all the time? Sysadmin, network admin, all these. Just again, okay. So when it's cloud entry level, you need to pay attention more to the job description than the actual role, because a lot of times with entry level roles, you're not going to have a full dedicated role to cloud, but you'll have exposure, you'll have the ability to work with cloud or whatever it might be. So just pay attention more to the description. It'll say, I don't know, maybe you're still doing some help desk stuff, maybe you're still doing some, I don't know, a bunch of other things, but it'll say there, oh, like you might be able to work with these services in AWS or Azure or whatever it might be. Like the more up you go, the more specialized you become, but that comes with years of experience. Like the earlier you need to pay attention more of like these roles that will give you a little bit of opportunity, and then eventually you'll like grow into what you want to grow into, right? But hey, you have already experienced. This is great. It looks like you have you're studying for your certification, which is great. Again, look into MSPs as well, and then like move on or whatever it might be. But looks like you have kind of everything. You haven't said anything about projects though, but I'm assuming your bachelor's degree would sort of have you building projects. But yeah, make sure you do at least like the Azure resume challenge. Here's a spam comment. I can't remove it. But
I was like, what?
That's repeated. Okay, I'll look into them. Thank you. I had to work. See you later, JJ. Hey, question for you. What was the most fun, exciting cloud projects you've worked on? That's a good one. Do you have an answer, Rishabh?
I usually talk about the custom module stuff that I was working with Terraform that I'm not anymore. It was pretty cool. So you know how AWS, Azure, GCP, and every other cloud provider have their own provider with Terraform, and you can build. They have a provider for VMs. They have for storage, databases, right? So in our case, we needed a custom one because we had certain set of tools that needed to be installed on given VMs. We only needed specific images to be available rather than developers pulling, let's say, 1804, which is outdated, right? So yeah, I think that was cool. That is the project that kind of I wanted to learn Terraform, and then I think I put it to good use. Yeah. What about you? It's more of a DevOps project, I think, more than
For me, it was the one that I did a video on 2 weeks ago, and that I'm actually turning into a series now. I've got almost the first part done, because there was just, I think not only the technical skill set that I gained there, but it was also like the trust that I sort of gained from the team from there. I think that was a project that sort of cemented like, oh, like she actually knows what she's talking about. She actually knows what she's doing. Like we're going to start, especially when you're a junior engineer, people kind of look at you like, oh, you're brand new here. You think you know everything. Especially if you want to start introducing like new tools, because serverless had been a complete new concept for this when I was working at this company.
I see what you mean.
And this was my one opportunity where was like, if I'm gonna like convince them that this is actually something that we could utilize and that I'm worthy of like becoming a cloud engineer at this company, like I'm gonna have to like knock it out of the park. So building that was amazing. I'm not gonna go into the details because I have a complete video on it and I'll have more videos coming out. But yeah, man, I learned so much. I learned working with storage, working with serverless functions, I built a freaking full Blazor WebAssembly website, and then we later ported that to Blazor server side, and we ended up turning that into like an admin portal for internal tooling. I forgot about this part. I was just remembering it the other day. Learned like some XML stuff, learned some API stuff, and today was building like, so for the demo that I'm, for like the video series, I'm building like I guess a mock kind of like API that receives the data. And like today I was just piecing together like how to work with like API keys and authentication with .NET, all these kinds of things. So cool. So anyway, I'm excited for that series. But yeah, that's probably the funnest. But I think with it being the most fun, it also comes like the most amount of frustration, and then the most amount of time where I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I remember sitting down, like when I was assigned the task, I'm like, I have no idea. And like the more I went uncovering, asking more questions, I kept feeling like this is going to be so freaking hard. And then a month goes by and like we figured it out and everything ran and I did the demo and it was amazing. Everyone was surprised. And then the outcome was like amazing. I was like, oh gosh.
Nice.
But anyway, this question keeps getting asked. Well, let's go into this one. What thing might companies ask for data engineer, data analyst, intern review? I don't know. I don't work with data whatsoever. We're the wrong people to ask for data.
Yeah.
We're a little more focused on the cloud and DevOps end. So unfortunately, we can't really answer that kind of question there. And we're not going to lie to you. I find GitHub Actions super complicated. Well, part of it is complicated. I think YAML might be a little interesting to work with at the beginning.
But then YAML is everywhere, especially when you're talking about CI/CD tools.
Yeah, YAML is the language of the DevOps.
Defining configurations, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What part of it is complicated though? Like, let us know. Maybe we can talk through it a little more. I don't know. I think it's because it's the one I've worked with the most. It kind of like, I guess when you're getting started, you're kind of like, oh, what is this? You have this file. You have all these like sort of steps.
Yeah.
It could be a little confusing.
For me, I think the learning curve was not bad. It was okay as compared to like when I got into like TeamCity builds and pipelines and stuff. It was complicated because it's a complex system, whereas with GitHub it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But I think it also depends on how many tools you have worked with prior to that, right? But yeah, do let us know. Maybe we can discuss it in detail.
Information technology. All right, so you have a degree in information technology. You got 10 months of working experience in help desk, and then you're working on certification. Couple that with a couple of projects, which you probably already have if you're in IT. And I think you've got everything you need, really. It's just about applying everywhere, big, small, large companies. Don't get too picky on the role. Pay attention more to the descriptions.
Yep.
Tailor your resume, tailor your cover letter. Keep your resume to one page. Make sure the way you talk about like your role description is very like actionable. Like instead of being like worked with this, you can be like created this project. That's in the outcome, right? I have a resume video that you can take a look on my channel. What else? Yeah, have a GitHub where you're with your projects on there, 2 or 3, perfect. If you can have instructions on how to deploy locally, fantastic. If you're in help desk, you're gonna have scenarios where you've had like tough customer interactions, a lot of people skills that you've developed. Have those practice, like recite them. I know you might think this is ridiculous, but practice them in a mirror. Go before your interview, sit down and be like, oh, I had a moment where this happened. This was the outcome. This is how I figured it out. All these kinds of things. Practice. Your ability to speak confidently about your skill set is what is going to be a game changer for you. Remember that. You're talking to people. You need to be able to have these like this ability, right? But yeah, it sounds like you have everything that you need, and much luck to you. I just started JCP this week without any IT background. I don't know what JCP is. You think that's a good decision? I still have doubt that I'm wasting my time. I have no idea what JCP is. Can you let us know what that is? Rishabh, do you know?
No. Junior cloud position?
That would be awesome.
But then I don't think it is, because they said I still have doubt that I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, I don't. Let us know. Do you guys work with code every day? Any cool projects involving code you guys just finished, or anything in the near future where coding is required? I would say I code weekly. I don't code. Lately, because of the projects that I have going on at work, I have been coding every day. But I guess my job isn't like a software engineer where I'm like coding because of my job kind of thing. It's more of like what I have going on. Any cool projects involving code you guys just finished or anything? I mean, again, for me, it's like that YouTube series. That's one thing. And then I'm working on an unreleased Microsoft Azure product that I think it's going to be announced during Build, which is in 3 weeks. Build is in 3 weeks? No. Yeah, it's... when is Build? The 24th? Oh, a month from now. So, yeah. Rishabh, I think you've been coding a lot lately.
Yeah. I can't talk much about it. you'll probably next stream. But yeah, I've been. It's pretty cool. The project that I've been building. It involves APIs. It's in Python, and I'm learning a lot about how REST and GraphQL is different and how REST works. So which is pretty interesting, especially when things work. Like this is the most, I think, complex kind of code that I've written in my entirety, I believe.
Very cool.
Yeah, I would love to discuss it, but yeah.
I've been doing a lot of work with minimal APIs, which is something that came out in .NET 6. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful.
Look into it. I'll look into it.
Yeah, look into it. And I don't know if anyone in the chat is a .NET developer, but minimal APIs, chef's kiss. Anyway, hey, it's me from the Discord server. Please let us know when y'all go live so I can tune in. See, I want to.
Pointer.
I want to, but like I feel like it's annoying when I do like at everyone.
Yeah. I think I don't want to set up a bot.
No, I don't want to do that.
I also want to set up a bot.
I do and I don't. I like where our Discord is like, you know, people are genuinely just going in and checking in. I hate bothering people. I hate pulling people's attention away. So that's, I guess you can just turn on notifications for our channels. That might be better. But I just like, in a world with like Teams and like Zoom and like Slack and Discord and all these things, like I hate to be like in addition to that. But anyway, No Reply says, hi guys. Hey, No Reply. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, here we go. Junior Cloud Practitioner.
Oh, close. That was close.
I just started Junior Cloud Practitioner. What is Junior Cloud Practitioner? Like this certificate?
Is it like a study thing, or is it a job title?
Yeah, let us know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that infrastructure as code is the future?
It's the present.
It's the present.
Yeah, it's very much a very, very like standard.
I don't know what the future is though. Like I don't know how more like obviously there will be more solutions where I don't know how the infrastructure will be deployed, but yeah, it's the present. Nobody, I think, should be going into the UI and clicking and deploying 16 VMs.
One by one.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah, it's the present. Why not just do a weekly podcast, weekly chat? We keep talking.
Would you like to?
We keep talking about that, but the thing about me is I hate commitment, and it's funny that I say that because of personal things that have happened in my life. But I'm just like not a fan of like putting dates and like, hey, we have to do this every week, because we had Cloud Code Life. We had it with Antonio, Rishabh, and myself, and it was great. But it started to become somewhat of we started it because it was fun. It was just us kind of like talking about our week, but then it became too much of like it kind of grew into a burden, I would say. And I don't like that because we do a lot for work, and we do a lot of these things that have deadlines and such like that, and we wanted to keep the podcast just casual. Mm-hmm. But with these streams, we can just do them randomly, and then we get questions live. But I think we talked about this in the last stream. Like I do miss like the podcast because it's like it could be a little bit more focused. It could be a little less like pressure to be live. But I don't know. I feel like adding another thing to our plates is also like tough.
The issue is Gwen puts her heart out when she does something, and like for these streams, all these graphics, Gwen created it. The thumbnails, Gwen did. So now the only thing left is we just go live and talk to you guys randomly. Like we answer cloud or career related questions, right? There's no kind of set structure or research that we have to do. Whereas with the podcast we did, like Gwen would go and bring up topics. We would go through articles, make sure we have read them before we have an opinion. Just like we said, if we don't know things, we would be straight up and say we don't have an opinion, right? Which I think is not good for a podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like there is a lot of time and effort that goes in, especially when you're working with Gwen. And
I have a very high standard to things that I do.
So I think this works out if you want to chat with us. where we just randomly hop on. But yeah, do let us know if you want the like. I don't see much value of making the recordings available later, in I don't know audio format, because then you don't know what are the questions that are being asked, and like we typically sometimes go over 2 hours of answering questions, so it'll be a long. And I love this, like just randomly hopping on and talking to you, catching up with Gwen.
Yeah, this is our way to catch up. Like we were literally gonna like Richard messaged me last night. He's like, "Hey, let's catch up," and then I fell asleep. And then I was like, "Let's do it today." And then I was like, "Oh, I also want to talk about the project that we want to put together for Learn to Cloud. So let's just do it live." So this is very much us just catching up with each other, but also like answering questions at the same time. Which brings me to because someone asks here, how much networking is involved with your API project? Is the networking part something that gets handed off to the network engineers?
Do you mean Gwen's project that she was talking about, or do you mean mine?
Yeah, which project you're talking about. But this brings me to because I did use the @everyone in Discord the other day because I was like, I really want to put together a project that covers, because Learn to Cloud is, we have 4 phases: Linux and networking, then we have scripting or programming, and then we have cloud, and then we have DevOps. So I wanted to create a project that was sort of not entry level, but like beginner friendly, but they would have like exposure to each area. So then I was like figuring out, was kind of just like speaking my mind. A lot of people seem interested, but essentially I think what I want to end up building is like, so we'll have, we'll have a virtual network or VPC, whatever we end up calling it. We'll have a private subnet, we'll have a public subnet, and in our public we'll have our web app, which could be just like a simple CRUD, front end with an API. And then we'll have a database in a private subnet, and then we'll have it secured like correctly. So we'll have like the proper security things. There'll be Linux VMs, so like all Linux management will be done via CLI. So you get Linux and networking exposure in that phase. Actually building the web application and the API will give you exposure to like programming. And then it's going to obviously be deployed in Azure, AWS, or maybe all 3, whatever it might be. So you're going to get cloud exposure doing that. And then with DevOps, we'll have to make sure all the infrastructure as code lives probably in GitHub. The code lives in GitHub as well, and all those kinds of things. And I think that's like a solid beginner-friendly project that we can put together. Right now, what I'm looking for is sort of people from the Discord or from the chat or from anywhere to sort of like own each part. So I want someone to own the networking part. I want someone to own the programming part. I want someone to own the cloud part and someone to own the DevOps part. I think naturally the DevOps part could be you, Rishabh. The cloud part could be myself, or I could do like the networking or /Linux area or networking, the net area. And then the developer part, I could potentially also do as well, or you could potentially also do as well. But I would really want to for other people from the community to step up and be like, oh, I would love to create this. I would give you, you would get contribution or project
you'll be
author.
On the contribution page.
Yeah, you'll be on Learn to Cloud. You could put this on your resume if you ever need a reference or anything like that. I could potentially be a reference for you. If you ever need, I don't know, we'll make a YouTube video talking about the project. You'll be in there too. So if you're looking to build a brand or whatever it might be, I'd be happy to help you. But I'm really looking to not have to do the whole thing, which we could do realistically.
We could, yeah.
But we're trying
it's more for the community. That's what we are trying to do is, because there, as Gwen said, there has been a lot of questions about, hey, I did the Cloud Resume Challenge, what other project should I do? Or, hey, can we cover this aspect of Learn to Cloud, right? And as Gwen said, we have 4 phases and want to have a big project which covers basically a lot of it, right?
The way I see it is also each area, I'm doing it sort of project 1 would be, kind of thinking of an infrastructure as a service. We're using virtual machines, and then we could take it at we can, instead of the application being something that's on a VM, we can make it serverless. We can use, and another version would be we can use containers, and we'll have to use Kubernetes, these kinds of things. Maybe we'll turn it into microservices, or I don't know. I feel like it's a good boilerplate project that we could later turn into different things depending on what we wanted to change, right?
What would be the end result?
I don't know.
Okay.
Back full circle to VMs. I don't know. I think that's great, but right now I'm looking for 2 people. So if anyone hit me up to Twitter, Discord, whatever. If you want to sort of own an area, and we'll build it out there, and then we'll figure it out. But this is great. But yeah, if not, I guess we'll have to build it on our own, Rishabh. but it'll be content, so that's great. I decided to go back to WGO for cloud computing. I'm gonna take the AWS track. I'm tweeting it here because Musk bought Twitter.
Let's build a social media app.
Oh my goodness. JCT is a study thing. They teach Linux, DevOps, Basic Python. I've never heard.
Nice. Good to know.
I've
I
never heard that.
haven't heard. So it's like a program.
Yeah, maybe like a boot camp or something like that. I've never heard of it. I don't have an opinion on it. So yeah. Let's see. Hey GPS, I've worked some pretty basic on-prem tech support for a public sector for a good amount of years. Looking to transition to cloud for new challenges and career growth. I've limited experiencing administrating, I'm assuming, as it's very specific to my skill support, and no work experience with ticketing systems. Interesting. So you work support, but no experience with ticketing systems. Okay. Any recommendations on how to bridge the gap? I'd like to get into engineering to start. What kind of engineering? I would assume my lack of movement and growth might be seen as a negative with recruiters. I wouldn't say that. I mean, look at it as that the fact that you have some sort of experience. It's very interesting that you don't have ticketing experience with support, but hey. So again, this is like, I feel like a lot of people have questions that are not, I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way, that are like not necessarily unique. And this is the reason why we made Learn to Cloud as generic and as broad as we could. Because we genuinely do believe that if you like sort of walk yourself through and like kind of fill in the gaps with what you're missing compared to like Learn to Cloud, you'll kind of fill in, like you'll understand what you need to learn to like go from like where you're at to so like a cloud admin, entry level cloud role of kind of skill set. But hey, you have experience already, so that's like the plus side here. And what you're missing is nothing new. Like you need the Linux skill set, you need the networking to some extent, fundamentals, right? Yeah, and then obviously projects, and that's where that's at. Sounds like a very cool project, BS. Thank you. Why is IPv6 really not used? I thought we were running out of IPv4 addresses. I did some research and it said because of NAT. Can we indefinitely delay IPv6 because it's too long? That is a massive question, and I don't really know. I feel like this is I've heard of this, like the IPv6 and IPv4 thing. I don't really know why. I did some research and it said because of NAT. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that you could probably go down a rabbit hole and like Google and like read a bunch of things.
Yeah, it's a really good question though. What it's been 17 years since IPv6. And yeah, we are running out of IPv4 addresses. But yeah, we are not an expert, and we also don't know who makes that decision to pivot. Yeah. You are right. They're long. They like the reasoning I think behind is the NAT. And I don't know if like every kind of equipment that we already have in place is like how much delay we will see when it comes to the translation. But yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah, no idea. Wensa says, I would be interested in help with the network or infra piece.
Nice.
Perfect. There we go. We have someone who's going to help us out with that. Message me if you're in the Discord. Message me on Discord. And if there's like the project help channel, message me in there. If it's just discord.learn2cloud.guide if you need to get into the Discord server. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Now we just need to find someone who does the dev piece. This is cool. I want to document it like so meticulously. Like you said before, like I have like such a high standard, but it's like, so someone can take, essentially we could turn this into like a very small, like, it'll be a repo on its own. I'll have like readmes for each phase as well. Right? So it'll have like Linux phase, do step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever, this other phase, all these kinds of things.
Yeah, I can only picturize like you having tables inside with containerization deployed, VMs deployed.
Heck yeah! All these, yeah. It's gonna be like there's gonna be diagrams, there's gonna be code snippets, it's gonna be well documented. Just because this is a community project, obviously you're gonna be doing it in your free time, but like don't commit to this unless you know This isn't going to be something that you can like half-ass, I guess.
Oh no, yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
why it's hard for us to find people who want to.
You'll
work with us.
see me and Gwen rejecting your PRs then.
Well, if you look at like, I guess, do you have any public projects that you can like share, like the documentation that you've made? I think you'd had the resume one,
Yeah, I think that is pretty good.
Yeah, like
let me
that's
pull it up.
that's the level that we want with every single phase for the project for this. I think my crypto ticker might be one. Like it's a good example.
Yeah. We
That one
did.
was like,
put a lot of effort into that.
and it was like and to some extent being like perfectionist doesn't work, but it's like we know when you're getting started how like one additional word, one additional sentence makes a massive difference. Maybe, can we bring it up on screen? Makes a massive difference from you understanding to not understanding. So that's why we know that that's like the caliber of work that we want.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. Microsoft Edge. Okay, there we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is the resume API.
Did you add this to the project list?
I think so, yeah. After I think so. Let's check it. And then people can also see who have not seen Learn to Cloud so far.
Yeah.
Maybe API? No. Okay, I'll add that.
Come
That's
on,
a good
Rashid.
point. My bad.
Come on.
Because I was working on the Python version. I remember talking to you and I'm like, I do want to do both JavaScript and Python. Maybe I'll do C# too. I don't know. But yeah,
There you go.
like
See,
Gwen said,
like,
we
look at this.
try to make it, very well documented until otherwise it's not accepted here.
We have high tier expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But then we promise as much as you give to the community, we will give back to you. Like you can ask people who have sort of contributed in some way to like whatever I've done. I've gone out of my way to be a reference for them, to get them on events that they wanted to do, to whatever it is, any kind of opportunities. It's like a two-way thing. It's not just like you give and not receive. It's like absolutely, you know, once you come into this circle or this community or whatever it is, we very much look out for each other. So.
Made by GBS. Oops. Did you pin it? No.
I don't know. I don't really know what I have pinned, to be honest. I don't really know which ones I have, like, that are, besides they're in the cloud.
Here
right
we
there,
go.
crypto.
So see, how well it's documented, and look at the resolution of the diagram.
Oh, beautiful.
It's super crisp. It has the GitHub link at the bottom.
Remember, we made this, I feel like, on Discord or something like that. We were on a call, right?
Yeah. This thing, yeah. Because remember we were having discussion about Gecko.
Oh, yeah, that's like a cute.
Like what the
Yeah.
But yeah, here you go. It's very well documented, and this is kind of what we're looking for. Do we have this too? I don't think we have this.
I think it is in the project one. I also want to. What's another project that I wanted to do? Oh no, I think it was this one. I can't remember, but anyway. But yes, let's see. So yeah, anyone whoever's interested in helping us out, you could message us. Here we go. I have a colleague who's being very greedy when it comes to new server builds. I wanted to build a server from scratch for a client, but he forcefully took it over. How do you deal with this? This is always tough. So is this like a senior to you, or is this like you're kind of on the same role or whatever it is? Like, I guess there's like the dynamic is always like an interesting balance, right? Also, what kind of environment are you in? Are you in a place where you could like go to whoever sort of like assigns these builds, like be like, hey, can I try this one? And I don't want to say like skip over your colleague, because then, you know, if this is a place that you work 40 hours a week or whatever it might be, you know, you don't want it to make anyone's time harder than it needs to be. But hey, you're also working there, right? So you also need to get like the most out of it. I'm trying to think if I've ever had. So I've had issues with colleagues, but I've always been able to talk to my bosses because I always just like won them over, like their trust because I worked well, and they would always sort of like kind of look out for me. But I understand that's not like always the case, so that might be a little tough. I don't know. Do you have any?
Yeah, it's I think being upfront about it would be nice because then, like, I'm guessing you're sharing this because it has happened multiple times, and yeah, just being upfront about it because in the end, if you're in, so no reply, said they're in the same role. So yeah, I would say, like, you are also learning, right? And this is also part of your job.
If you're at the same role, then it's just like I could
Yeah.
see you having like a straight up conversation, like, "Hey, like you're taking all these builds, like we're in the same role. Like, you think about and make it like as friendly as you can."
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If this, I was okay. I was thinking it was like a senior kind of person. Like, no, this is it's same role, and it's like, you know, that's different. But yeah, let us know. Good luck to that. Good luck with you on that. Jordan Jones, hey GBS, I would like to thank yourself and Rishabh. Thanks to Learn to Cloud, I have just scored a new job moving from help desk to senior support engineer with a 16K pay raise. Oh my God. That might just be the first. Remember we were saying that we wanted to follow up with people who went through Learn to Cloud and actually landed what they wanted to get. Look at this. 16K pay raise. This is amazing. I'm very proud of you, Jordan Jones. Thank you for sharing that with us. This is why we do
celebrate.
these things. Absolutely. We gotta print out these like
I'm gonna order now because I moved.
yeah.
And now I'm like settled in. Yeah.
Oh, we need stickers. We need stickers. We'll
Yes.
send you. We're now committing to sending you stickers. Rishabh is gonna have to do that. And this is amazing. See, this is why we do it. We're not trying to sell you $10 ebooks. We generally just want people to like go out there and get jobs that they want to do. So this definitely made my day. So congratulations to you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out, Jordan, and then we can figure it out.
Let's see here. Tech Tutorials with Piyush says, thanks for sharing, Rishabh. Thanks for sharing your
For a
project.
minute, I thought it was my brother because his name is Piyush too.
What,
But he doesn't do tech tutorials.
Tech tutorials. Yeah. You need to add that to Learn to Cloud, the projects.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Don't forget
Both
about
of
that.
them, yeah.
Oh, there we go here. Forcefully took over. That's tough. I agree with Rishabh. Confront respectfully and take it from there. Yeah. At the end of the day, like you're both people. You're both trying to like better yourself. I'm assuming better yourselves, grow and like
Yeah.
have a chat.
And like,
I feel like most people, I've always been open to having just conversations, and then they're like kind of thrown off with the like, oh, you're actually approaching me about this. Like, oh, I didn't even know like it was a thing, and like they'll.
Yeah. That's what I have experienced too. Is like, well, so the mindset I go with now when I have these discussions, or if I'm thinking I'm gonna have a discussion, is nobody really. Sometimes there will be cases where people have bad intentions, but generally people don't have bad intentions, and if you are upfront about it, they'll, even if they had, they will be like, oh, okay, yeah, take it over.
Yeah, I found that too. That when I do have bad intentions, that the minute you like confront them, they're like, oh no, sorry, my bad. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think most people don't end up like, they kind of just are passive about like, oh, I guess I guess I can't do anything about it. And that's why like, it's not necessarily like they're being a bully, but they're trying to get what they can out of it. So it's like, you know, they won't like do anything until someone brings it up. So you're already wanting to bring it up. So yeah, be like Rishabh said, most people don't realize that they're doing something wrong. So it is what it is. Jordan says, yes, this has changed my life. Thank you. That's awesome. I think we were talking to Alf, and I think I might have been talking to Alf on our way back from soccer yesterday, how his jump from like in his career, like you'll have certain jumps that are just so substantial that maybe it's not like the biggest amount of money or whatever it is, but there are those times in your career where for him it was obviously like this last one.
Yeah.
But like these jumps that kind of like, it's not necessarily like the monetary value, but it's also like, oh, that I could actually do it. Like I taught myself how to do this. I went out and I made this change, and that kind of like fuels you and gives you the confidence to like go for more and more and whatever it may be.
And he has been wanting to do like front end stuff for a while.
Ever since I've met him, it's
Yeah.
like 2 years, like that we've maybe more that we've more now that we've known it. Almost
2
When do we meet?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years, right?
2019 is when we met. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, 20. Jeez, Louise. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's cliche to say, but everyone has the ability to sort of learn what they need to know, and like it's always the last piece is just finding someone to take a chance on us. Like finding that recruiter, finding that hiring manager that's like, all right, there's something here, like let's give you an opportunity. But that is awesome. Let's see here. We just woke up. Good morning from India. It's morning in India.
Yeah, it's 5:50 a.m. So you're an early riser.
I've been waking up earlier lately. I've been going to sleep, dude. I've been going to sleep like I'm freaking really old. I've been going to sleep at 9 and then waking up at like 6. But I feel so good. Like this morning, I woke up and I'm like, I felt like so refreshed. I feel like brand new.
Yeah, I remember those times.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, back in 2018 or 2019. Yeah, I would do the same. Like I would go to bed at 9, but I'm usually a really late sleeper. And as Gwen knows, sometimes she would text me and I would be like, "Oh, I'm about to have dinner."
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's midnight." But yeah, no, those times are great. Like I don't know what it is about it because I still get like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's just a cycle. Like if I get it from 9 to 6, it's better. But then if I sleep at 1 and like get up at 8 or 9, I'm like so lazy in the morning. I don't know why.
I think with, the sun coming up earlier now and then I'm awake as it's rising, I just feel like, I don't know, those quiet hours, dude, those quiet hours in the morning, coding in those quiet hours in the morning.
Distraction free.
It's just, I don't know. It's like euphoric to some extent. But yeah, anyway, good morning to you. Super early. Let's see here. What do you know about, I think that's I guess, about need of cloud data engineer in the industry? Is there any difference between data engineer and cloud data engineer? Again, this is going to be different company to company. But we were just talking about this earlier today. Like someone was saying like they were getting into data analytics, but they were thinking about potentially moving. But yeah, cloud, like data engineering cloud is like a specialty and very lucrative and a lot of opportunities and things like that. I wouldn't necessarily say there's a massive difference. I think if you specialize in data, you're going to be able to find ways to work with it, whether that be on-prem, hybrid, or in the cloud. I don't really think you're going to be worried too much about infrastructure, things like that. You're more worried about like the data management kind of aspect.
And maybe the tooling around it.
Yeah,
especially with the solutions that come with cloud providers.
Yeah,
Gwen was talking about HD Insights, and then I think GCP has its own. I think it's called BigQuery. Yeah.
Yeah. But also a lot of cloud. I speak from Azure when it comes to like SQL, MySQL, Postgres, things like Cosmos DBs. If you want to work with like Mongo, if you want to work with like what are the other ones? Cassandra. All these things have like tooling options that if you work with it on-prem and then you want to work with it in the cloud, like you're going to have a lot of like the familiar tools. Again, because you're just focused on like the data itself, not necessarily where it runs. Where it runs, where it hosts, you're kind of leaving to the cloud engineer itself. So that's our insight there. Gustavo says, I got a programming role in my current job, doing SQL over 2,000 tables. My SCCM background helped in the interview, but I plan to absorb as much and then go to cloud. Yeah, this is the way. I think in every role when it comes to tech, like you can absorb so much, as much you get out of it as much as you can, as much as you put in to an extent, right? There are some limitations for each role. But from every role, you can get something that you can apply to an interview, cloud, to DevOps, or whatever it might be. I think people were like, oh, I immediately want to skip help desk. I want to skip support. I want to skip network admins. I want to go straight to cloud. But it's like, you can, and there are definitely people who have landed entry-level roles in cloud, but it's like you can also learn a lot from these other roles. Some of them pay just as well, or some of them are more entry-level friendly or whatever it might be, so... But this is absolutely the way. Absorb as much as you can and then like use it to like, and then you may find that like you still can't land a role, but like you can land a different role and like, hey, grab whatever you can from that one. Yeah. This question got in there. I'm seeing like a lot of duplicate questions. That might be just StreamYard though.
Could be.
Definitely checking out your Learn to Cloud. I see. Yeah. People think there's a catch. There is no catch. There's no catch to learn to cloud. It's literally open source. It's free. It's there. I haven't updated it in a while. I was thinking about what else I could add, but then I was just like, besides projects, I don't really think.
Yeah. Did you heard from, I'm just going to check GitHub.
Oh, from the translation one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Because I think that's the next step, is translating this to like Spanish, Portuguese, maybe. Whoever else wants to volunteer and translate this.
I will do the Spanish one at some point. I think it's probably in the summer because that's when I have a lot more downtime and like public events and everything kind of like winds down in terms of like Microsoft. I could do the Spanish one and then probably do like, you know, more of some of the more popular languages.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Other than that, yeah, projects is
just projects.
Unless something revolutionary happens and all of a sudden cloud jobs have changed. You need, I don't know, DevSecOps now as a new phase.
DevSec MLOps.
Yep. We'll add that.
Yeah, but yeah, check it out, learntocloud.guide. It's our probably one of our favorite side projects. It's something we're very proud of. And it just took off. That's how you know it was good. It's like a good thing because it just like took off and like you have people telling us like we landed a job after following us. It's like yes, that's what we've always wanted. Mm-hmm. Don't take our word for it. Someone just told you they got a job. Go look at it because of them, not because of us.
We need a success stories page.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea. Let me see here. Hey Gwen, I'm gonna start your 7-day YouTube channel tutorial. I hope to make some nice cloud videos soon. There we go.
It's pretty good.
I forgot I made that too. Dude,
that's what I do.
So many things.
I'm still doing this to this day. I think you recommended it to like at least have a video a week.
Yeah, when you're getting started. Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
Don't get I look back at the first couple of months I had my channel because I was lucky, whereas I think it took off after a couple of weeks. And like my first video was on Azure Functions, and it was discovered by one of the principal. He now runs the Azure Functions and Azure Container app.
Jeff, right?
Jeff Holland now runs that.
Yeah.
Runs like I think he's like, I can't remember but he like runs the thing.
Yeah.
And back then he was like, I don't know, principal or some sort of high level senior engineer on the functions team. And he found it and he shared it on his Twitter. He's like, look, I found this tutorial. That was literally my first video. But I was also very early on in functions content. So it was very niche still. And to this day, it's still very niche. Mm-hmm. So it was very targeted. So, you know, I was very lucky that people kind of found it. Like Microsoft people kind of found my channel very early on. But I remember those days, like putting in all the work and like kind of just releasing it. And I didn't care anything about metrics because it was like brand new. And it was just like, now I care too much about metrics. I want to stop caring. Really, I need to stop caring. I need to just create videos that have like whatever it is that I want to do. But there's so much freedom from like not having to care about any of that. So enjoy that, you know, share it with us. We would be more than happy to watch and share.
For sure.
As long as it's quality, as long as you're not like, you know, I don't know, like teaching something that's completely wrong. But if it's valuable and then, you know, it's something that you created out of passion, then we're absolutely going to share it. Cool. Damn, it's been an hour, dude.
Oh yeah, 8:27.
Did you have dinner already?
Kind of.
Here's a good question.
Kind of.
Hinuk. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Oh, if you're interested in sysadmin videos, go check out Hinuk's channel. I know you do a lot of. Let me get your YouTube link. You want to answer that question while I go get his YouTube?
Sure. How do I balance it? I think I don't have a calendar. I used to do that, but I don't. I just cannot. I don't function that way because sometimes I might be in a mindset to make a video. Sometimes I'm just too burnt out that I just want to go sit at the lake. So yeah, I think it's about the perfect balance. I try not to go crazy with my content too, but I try to just keep it on a pace that's good for me with my work and with my personal life. So yeah, I think finding that right balance is what just works out for me. Is one video a week, right? And it could be technical, it could be a vlog type video,
Mm-hmm.
and then usually I spend the weekends outside now that the weather is getting warmer. I am also into sports. I play video games casually every now and then whenever I feel like. And yeah, spend time with Misha. So I think it's finding that right balance.
Yeah, and I think to add on to that, you also have people around you who support you
Yes.
with what you do, and they understand like, oh, you need your time to do this,
That's
you need your space to do
huge.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's massive. I think for me, I like to kind of like, I like to say I structure my day around like personal things and like people that my loved ones essentially come first. So like I'll wake up in that time early. The reason why I'm trying to wake up earlier is to have those couple of hours earlier in the day to be just me. Like now I'm like doing like
Mhm.
paying extra attention to like physical health and all these kinds of things, and I try to work out in the mornings, like try to get everything that I find like absolutely important that I have to get done early in the day, and they're all like personal things, whether it be like journaling, therapy, whatever I have that day, that gets done first.
Yeah.
Then it goes into, then luckily I don't have meetings usually until later in the day. I think unless I'm like doing meetings with Liam, who's based in London, then I'll have them like at 9:30, whatever it might be. But usually my meetings start from anywhere from like 11 to after that. But anything, I find that you need to also figure out when you work the best and when you can put your focus work in. For some people, it's in the afternoon. For some people, it's the middle of the day. For some people, it's early. For me, it's typically earlier on. So after I have like all my personal, like dire personal things, like I talk to my mom and all those kinds of things, I'll dive into like heavy focused work. And then I could do meetings, and I'll probably do streams, and then I might do a little bit more focus work, and then like the rest of like, I try to be free from things, from work and stuff like that by 9 o'clock, and then I'll do like, I'll go play ping pong, or I'll go play like video games, or I'll go chill out, or whatever it might be, right? I'm a big fan of to-do lists. I'm a big fan of Notion. I'm a massive fan of calendar. Like I schedule everything. I schedule like dinner dates, or like hang out with friends, or like coffee dates, or whatever it is, gym, anything that I have to do that's going to require any time. I use my calendar for like absolutely everything in there. Because I don't want to remember anything. My mind, in my opinion, is only for like focus work and like whatever it is that I need to like really think about. I don't need to keep dates. I don't need to keep individual tasks in there. I don't need to keep random facts. Nothing in there. I write everything down. Yeah, it's tough because it's also like, I think you and I were both at stages where our career is very much first. Like we know that we're in the time of our lives that we have the ability to work as hard and put as much time as we can without like sort of jeopardizing. Like we don't have kids. Like you have a committed partner, but that this, you know, your partner obviously understands that you're like gonna work your butt off. I don't have kids. I don't have partner. I have like my parents, but like we'll talk on the phone, and then they understand like, oh, Gwen really wants to like just do her own thing. I live on my own now, all these kinds of things. So like I really like from when I wake up to like go to sleep, it's like all my time. And I think that'll change later on, obviously, right? For both of us. But now it's like we're very much in the mindset of like, okay, we have the potential to do absolutely everything we want to do in terms of career. And now we just got to be smart and more organized about it. It helps that like our hobbies align very well with what we do for work.
For sure.
Like this right now is a hobby.
Yeah. And
So
we're
it's
already like 1 hour 8 minutes in on a Monday.
Yeah, it's also like, oh, are we really working? Well, I guess to an extent we are. But hey, that's where we're at. What app was that? So I think I said Notion.
Yeah.
I use Notion for organizing my projects and for journaling and for any notes, reading notes, any kind of stuff like that.
I use that too. There's no going back.
I don't like that there's no offline mode, but besides that, it's amazing. I use all my stuff goes in calendar. I just use the Outlook calendar, and then I use Microsoft To Do for any little thing So throughout the day, you'll have things that pop into your mind like, oh, I need to remember something. Oh, I need to do this. I need to whatever. I just put it in to do. And then when I have some free time, like, and I'll go through my to-do list and I'll sort of put them where they need to go. If they need to turn into a Notion page, they'll turn into a Notion page. If it needs to be an email that I need to send out, I'll do that, whatever it is, right? But like,
Nice.
I don't like to keep random thoughts in my mind. Thanks for sharing. Calendar plus Notion has been a lifesaver for me. Yeah, absolutely. Notion is amazing, man. It's just, also you can share it publicly and then you have a link. Yeah, but we'll type it's Notion like that. I absolutely hate Microsoft To Do. Oh, really? I think for me, it's like the most simplest to do app that exists. Like I feel like every other one has like these bells and whistles that I don't need.
For me, I don't. I think I use reminders or whatever the go-to iOS app, right? And then I didn't know about Microsoft To Do. So my so at my previous place, my new work laptop came in. I was up for a refresh or something. And that one already had Microsoft To Do. And I'm like, wait, Microsoft has a To Do app? So I installed it on my personal machine too. And I don't know, like, tell us the reason why you hate it. But for me, it's seamless because I have it on my phone. I have it on my personal laptop or like machine. I have it on my work laptop. So if I had need to remember, let's say I got to pick up something while going home from work, I'll just put it in there. And then I have that on my phone. So whenever I take a bus or something, I just go through my phone and see, am I forgetting something?
Yep. It's
Works
simple.
for me.
It's like a simple to-do app. It does everything that it needs to do, which is what I'm a big fan of, like things that just have like one like very targeted but does it well purpose, except for Notion. But to be fair, I only use Notion because like Notion is so capable of so many things.
Yeah.
But I only use it for like note taking and organizing my project.
Yeah, that's
notes
what.
as well.
Yeah, I think I use it for like YouTube and just my like
Scripts
life in
and stuff.
general. Yeah, scripts and like what videos I want to do and stuff, or some ideas that I might be thinking randomly.
I prefer Google Keep. I've never used Google Keep.
I used to use it. I consider it more of, you could say note taking, but I don't know. I used to save. I don't know what I used it for. It's very different to a to-do app.
I thought it was like a note taking. Like, does it have like stickies?
Yeah. That's what it is. It's like you have widget type stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Can have different colors.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
No, I like to do like Microsoft To Do is just like as close as like writing down a piece of paper. Do this, one line kind of thing. So hey, but everyone, everyone has their preference. Which cloud do you suggest for student beginners in the field of cloud computing? And further, I'm willing to give certification exams to gain more exposure. Currently, I'm prepping for AZ900. Which cloud for students? Any cloud for students.
Yeah. To be honest, I do want to discuss this. So I was having this conversation as I was talking earlier in the stream. So I talked to 2 students. They graduated recently. They're looking for jobs in cloud or DevOps. And one of them they did a postgraduate diploma in cloud computing. And they were wondering which cloud to start in, or build some projects in and do some certifications. And after having some discussions with them back and forth, we ended up picking up Azure.
Wow.
Reason being Microsoft Learn.
Wow, look at that.
So they were scared with AWS and GCP after you run out of credits. And I'm like, for projects you won't until and unless you deploy something like, I don't know, a huge instance with a graphics card or something, a machine learning image. And then they were like, but what happens after a year? I'm like, yeah, you just got to pay for it. They're like, I don't know if I'll land a job in a year. And I'm like, oh, they were just scared to receive like $1,000 bill, right? And I'm like, in that case, Microsoft Learn it is. Like, they have a sandbox environment, you get hands-on, and you still have like the yearly credits. If you have a .edu email, I think you're until like you're a student. So let's say you're doing a 4-year degree, you'll receive $200. So I found out. So I was researching this as we were talking.
Yeah.
You get $200 not for a year. You get $200 every year, right? Which is crazy. But yeah, I work for Google Cloud. We ended up saying that Azure is the safest choice because you can get hands-on with Microsoft Learn Sandbox environment, and then you could have your student account for your. So they're working on 2 projects that they want to include on their resume, and I think $200 is enough, given there's also like free tier of services available. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm a big
just
fan
some
of
insights.
Microsoft Learn.
Just some insights.
There's not only do you have like sandboxes, but you have instructions, and a lot of times, like when say you're working on like deploying a web app to something, you don't really care about the web app, so they'll already have a repo with the code that you need to deploy, so you don't have to worry about that, right? You don't have to worry about learning how to go code something to deploy it. And all of it is on GitHub, and I don't know, it's amazing. I personally know the team that does a lot of work for the Learn stuff. They do it for a living, right? So like obviously they have quality standards to meet. I personally have used Learn to learn some Rust fundamentals, some Bicep, Docker, Kubernetes, so many things on there. So it's not just like .NET and Azure. Like there's so much on there.
No, yeah. I use it for Python. And I didn't know that Microsoft has an exam for Python. Like, okay.
We do?
Yeah, there's like, you can sit an exam to see if you're like good enough in Python. I'm like, awesome. So there were Learn modules that I went through, and at the end they were like, here's the exam. And I'm like, no, I don't want to take the exam.
Well, I know the creator of Python, we hired him
Interesting.
as I don't know, probably like the highest engineer level that you could get, which is cool. I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, we're sort of getting off sidetrack here. Same here, Rishabh. I don't know what that.
Yeah, that stands for bro or brother or. Yeah.
We're all family here. Oh no, I was talking the other day how I don't like to use the word family when it comes to like tech communities or like roles. And I feel like people were getting in their feel. Oh my gosh, somebody attacked me on that. Someone
on
were
Twitter?
Like, yeah, on Twitter. They were like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Did you tweet about this? Oh yeah.
I tweeted about it. I
forgot.
said roles or tech communities that use the word family are instant no for me. And then most people were like, yes, no, whatever. And I was like, I don't care. But someone came at me like, interesting coming from you, giving your employer. And I was like, what? So, I don't know. It was interesting. You can go look at the tweet if you want to. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of people who are like, we will never say the Learn to Cloud family. Heck no. I would never say that. I'll never say I'm part of the Microsoft family. No, definitely not. I'm... family, because
whenever you say Microsoft family, I always think of Office, like the 365 and
like the suite, right?
Yeah, the suite, right?
Yeah.
The product, not the employers.
Yeah, no, never. I'm never like.
Yeah, I've been too much on Reddit, but there's also some drama going on with CNCF. On
I
Twitter.
saw that. Oh my dude, I've been keeping off social media in general.
Yes,
but the other day I saw like someone tweeted something about CNCF.
I saw that too. Yeah, so I saw the actual tweet when they tweeted it out. It was
what was it?
It was
what
not
happened?
big. It was couple of likes when I found it, and then I forget about it because it seemed reasonable. I'm like, okay. They were complaining about mask mandate, like. Mask mandate is not a thing now for the CNCF event that's happening in Valencia, I think, in Spain. KubeCon, sorry.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. So they were like, this is like not a good move. So close to the conference, you're removing the mask mandate, and we'll be like, I don't know, 4,000, 5,000 people. Which I get. People are still concerned with their health, and
Of course.
I forgot about it. And then the next thing I read is yesterday's Reddit thread, and it linked to the same tweet. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
I didn't jump into it, but I feel like, I don't know. people are going against CNCF, like whoever the big people are at CNCF, because they're moving this, right? Do you know the story?
I read a little bit about it, and then I was like, I don't have the time to like get deeper into this. I know they were upset because they had removed the mask mandate. Well, after people already had made plans to go, probably booked travel, booked accommodation, stuff, all that kind of stuff, right? Took time off, whatever it might be. And then I think there was something about the CNCF saying, using their code of conduct to call out the person who like called them out for that. Or something like, and then there was like a bunch of deleted tweets, so I couldn't really get the full picture of what's going on and stuff like that. I don't really have an opinion on any of that. For me, it's just like, man, Twitter is just every day there's a new thing, and I've been like staying off. So I have an extension that blocks the timeline. So the only thing I can do is like tweet and look at the replies and mentions and whatever, and I can go search for stuff if I need to. But I've been trying to like stay off because like build is coming up. I have like a bunch of like things coming up that I need to like really focus on, and I feel I'll just get sucked into it. So I'll just get sucked into it until like, I can't.
But yeah, the Reddit thing was funny because you know how Reddit is. They're like, these tech Twitter folks need to. they're in their own world, and like I'm like, what? What's going on?
It's so interesting how like the contrast between like
the community
tech Reddit and tech Twitter.
Yeah, and it was I think a cloud subreddit, and I'm like,
it's tough. I mean, just like I guess provide an opinion is like, it's tough because I can imagine like, oh, I know I'm gonna go. I personally want to wear a mask anywhere I go in public, even if I'm like.
Sorry, do you wanna wear it?
Yeah, I do.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're in the favor, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if it's just, I don't know. I just feel safer. Like it's maybe it's not even a COVID thing. I just feel like it's like cleaner thing to do. And I feel like if I would have had the expectation of like, I'm going this, there's gonna be mask mandate. There's gonna be thousands of people here. I'm gonna be cool, right? But, yeah. And then they just like say, oh, it's not required. And then I'm like, okay, I could see myself being like, this is weird. Like, this is an interesting situation. I would probably like back out.
Yeah, and it's also like it is a personal preference in the end. I get it, but then, and please don't come at me, tech Twitter, but I'm not going to say anything controversial. But like, so what I feel is, I just don't want to deal with the drama if I get the COVID. Right? I've been there. You're not allowed on plane. I could not travel, right? You're in quarantine for, I don't know, now I think the Canadian government says 10 days, right? I cannot, like, be with Misha close, right? Yeah. Because she works at the university. So all of these things, I just don't want to deal with them. And that's why I wear it. Yeah. Just to keep myself like safe, because I don't know if the other person has it or not, right? And in the end, it's like personal preference. But I think like the reason they debated it, it's like, yeah, if you want to wear it, you can wear it, but we are not making it a mandate. But then it's a super crowded place. I don't know.
Maybe if it was smaller and then you could safely have distance. But even then, it's like, I don't know. And also, to be fair, I don't know if they're requiring like proof of vaccination and proof of negative.
Yeah, I don't know that too. Yeah, because I play volleyball, so I would wear my mask into the gym, but then when I'm playing, I take it off, and everyone else does. But there are some players who would wear it. But I am assured that everyone has gone through a screening, and like everyone has accepted the waiver, and everyone is vaccinated. So all of those things go into the play, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I found the subreddit, so if anybody is interested in the Reddit thread, let me know. It's funny.
I also don't find a lot of benefit from like just arguing these things on Twitter because they just get so hostile. I feel like there's no way. I mean, I think it's a good way of getting attention, but because there's always going to be people who like, so there's going to be people who have genuine intentions on figuring out a solution, and they're respectful, and they're all but there's always going to be trolls who just want to troll and make things worse just because it makes them happy. And then they mess everything up for everyone. Like, you could potentially use Twitter as a valuable way of communicating an opinion and like figuring out like, oh, we should probably like figure this, let's find an alternate solution. But then there's going to be people who are just going to like try to ruffle other people's feathers, and then like it never becomes, the internet trolls will always win, unfortunately. So that I have, I guess, so much of a negative mindset when it comes to like tech, social media. It's like, I'm just not gonna like try because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then they'll attack you for no reason. It's like, no. I agree with you regarding the family. Like, you don't gotta fill out a workforce with family. I hope not. Jokes aside, I read companies use family to make you accept the suck. Also, whenever companies use family, I'm like, you don't know my family. You don't know how toxic they can be. Why would I want to join a place that could be as toxic as my family? Why would I? Because, you know, they think like family's just all like the nice things, but like there's a lot of negative.
Unicorns and rainbows, yeah.
Right. It's like, why would, if you were like, oh, our company's like a family, I'd be like, no, I'm trying to get away from like, and I'm talking about my extended family, not but like my loved ones, like my close ones. Like, nah, you're all cool. They're cool. But yeah, I don't know. I
don't know. I think it's not the right term to use.
Community is a word in it itself that is amazing. Because it's like we're coming together because the only thing we have in common is this thing. Like, for example, for us, it's cloud, right?
Yeah.
We're not forced to be together like a family. I don't know. I guess that's just one of my rants, my Twitter rants. I used to have more. I feel like I've calmed down lately.
Yeah, you're very calm.
I recently saw someone's video. It was hilarious because they were complaining about like there's people out here who like, as soon as they accept the offer, like they go and they write like ebooks and sell them on Twitter for $10, and they don't even know because like they don't have even any experience in the role. And then it was funny because I replied like, yeah, I'm so tired of like these $10 ebooks, and they were like, at this point they shouldn't even be ebooks, they're more like pamphlets. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was so funny. Like having, because I feel like, so the tech, and we were talking about like being Twitter influencers earlier before. It's like it just, again, there's something about Twitter that makes it just so viable for people, for like bad stuff that's not useful to become so popular.
Yeah.
And then this YouTuber was like saying that they're going to start a series where they go out and purchase these books and these courses, and then they just kind of like review them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, please do that, because I would watch the heck out of that.
For sure. It'll be entertaining.
All right, anyway, we've been doing this hour and a half. We're probably going to sign off.
But yeah, if you want to retire, we will monetize Learn to Cloud. It'll be $50. 50,
for each
50.
face.
Yes.
For each face.
$50. And then there will be a link at the end to buy the entire guide for $1,000.
And this is what if we even put ads on it, we would make a good amount of money, because we get hundreds of visitors.
Yeah.
On the daily.
For sure. Let's recreate it. Let's have pop-up ads everywhere.
As soon as you try to scroll, it's the pop-up ad that you have to wait 30 seconds. You got to watch a video before you can move on.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We'll see you maybe, I don't know, some random day this week, maybe. Potentially. Depends on our schedules. That's why it's called random. Yeah, that's why it's called Random Cloud Chats. It wouldn't be random if we had a structure and a schedule. All right. Peace out, everyone.